Hey there, blog buddies. So today we're going to finish up the review of the Grande Lumiere eyeshadow palette that I've been doing for like 4 weeks. First one we're going to look at is called Cosmic Blue. Get that cap off for you. And that is that one right there. And here's a swatch. So this is a really great shade of like a peacock blue. It's probably one of the most heavily pigmented shadows in the palette. They all have a ton of pigment, but this one has probably a hair more than the other ones. Not too much of a shimmer, more of a sheen. Absolutely fantastic color. I love this one. It's great for doing like 80s throwbacks. If you watch my intro video to this review series, I talked about how I worked on a play, The Tame of the Shrew, set in the 80s, and I used this shadow a ton for a lot of the looks. It's it almost has like a multi-dimensionality to it, so when you see it in a different light, it's probably part of that sheen effect more than shimmer. It kind of gets like a glossy, almost like silvered look to it, and can look foiled even when it's not wet. Of these last four shades, this one's probably my favorite. Again, because, well, with this one, it's not so much that it's essentially unique, but it's a standout among this shade of blue that I've seen. I like it a lot better than the comparable MAC shadow, which I can't remember the name of right now. And there's something about it that just makes it a lot better, for lack of a better term, than all other peacock blue shadows. So, just a couple ideas for how you use this. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's great for doing 80s throwbacks if you want to use like all over the lid or as part of a lid shade. Otherwise, if you want to use it on a more day-to-day basis, it's great if you wet it and use a flat eyeliner brush and put it just along the upper lash line. It's a really good alternative to like a purple or a straight up black. Gives your eyes a bit of a pop. Great on its own. You don't even have to use an eye lid color with it. Really good for that. Let's see what else I use it for. Practical application wise, I guess that's about it. You could maybe line the waterline with it, which would of course make your eye look whiter because it's blue. And definitely for going out, you could put this in the outer V of your eye for a bit of more pumped up drama. It is really eye-catching shade. Other people will notice it. That's about it. All right, next one is called Amethyst, which is that one right there. And here's a swatch. And Amethyst is kind of like a smoky purple. It's not royal purple, so it's not that dark. It's a lot darker than like a violet or an indigo, though. I guess the best way to describe it would be like a darker, kind of like not grayish, but it does have a bit of that smokiness to it. Lavender. It's a really pretty shade. This one is definitely one that you could use on a day-to-day basis as an alternative to like a dark brown or a black. It's fantastic for doing smoky eyes if you use it just across as like a wash across the lid. This one's great because it can be applied really sheerly with ease and not look at all intimidating or extremely like pow color. I know I said that all these shades were more of like fun colors, but this one is a color that I use a lot, and maybe it's one that you could add to that list that I said you should definitely order if you're not going to order the palette and just go order singles. It has, again, I mean, I say this about most of these, but it has a quality that just makes it stand out from other shades that are like it. It's not a particularly unique shade, but there's something about it that just makes it better than all those other shadows that look like it. I guess part of it, like I said, with this one is that you can do it sheerly, or um, you can pack it on and you'll get totally different effects from both. It's not just going to be like a darker or more intense one. Sheerly, it looks more, like I said, like a wash of color, um, and can make your eyes like give them a lot of like depth. And then darker, you're going to get a much more dramatic, um, much heavier, much starker uh, range of color from this one, which I really love. It's really, really versatile. I mean, it's also great if you wet a flat liner brush and use it along the upper lash line, use it underneath the eye even with a pencil brush. Um, this is probably the one that's my favorite to put on just the outer V, just a tiny little bit right here, and bring a tiny bit under the eye. I love this on all eye colors, especially green. Um, One of my favorite couture looks. I can't remember what show it's from. I think it was Spring 2000. It might have been Vera Wang. I'm not positive though. Did this. Didn't use this shade, but used a similar shade. I forget what range. But it just looked amazing. Bare skin, little bit, tiny bit of cream blush, a nude lip that was washed out with a bit of foundation. If you don't want to do that, you can also use just like a beige or a honey-colored lipstick matte. And it just looks amazing. Totally appropriate for work. Completely appropriate for going out. Looks great. You can put it with like a messy side braid, and you'll be extremely chic. Great way to transfer from winter to spring. Really on point for right now as well. So you really can't go wrong with this shade. Like I said, this is definitely one that I think warrants purchase. So second to last one is Sun Yellow, which most obviously is right here. And here's the swatch. And this is a fantastic canary yellow color. Really, really bright. For some reason, Sun Yellow along with, what are these ones? Tangerine, Aztec Gold, and Ice are the softest shadows in this palette. Not soft color-wise, but soft like texture-wise. The other three that I mentioned broke, which is why they're soft. Fortunately, this one hasn't because I actually left the cap on. And you have to be kind of careful when you're moving your brush over it, otherwise you're going to get a lot of fallout in the pan. Instead of sweeping on this one, I like to pat color onto it instead. And this one's extremely pigmented as well. It's probably the second most heavily pigmented shadow in this palette after the Cosmic Blue. So patting color onto it, a brush shouldn't be that much of a problem. This one's really great more for couture looks, or for adding like a little bit of intensity to a normal day look. The way you could do that is by putting it more at the inner corner, like right here, and transitioning into a champagne. It's kind of fun. It brightens up a look, makes it a bit more cheery, a bit more like eye-catching, not quite so natural, obviously. This one's great with yellow, yellow eyes, blue eyes. Otherwise, I can't say I've used this much outside of theater applications. I mean, once in a while, when doing a smoky eye, I'll put just a dot of it at the very inner corner near the tear duct using a pencil brush, just to add a bit of fun to it. Otherwise, you're mostly looking at going out applications. I did this for my friend once when we went to a club. I put a sheer wash of a sparkly black all over her lid, and then this over it. And that was inspired by Marc Jacobs' show. I think it was 2008, 2009. It was a more toned down look version of that.